Welcome to the newly discovered continent called Torcupatos. This continent resides off the southern east coast of the United States. This new continent holds the culture Musica. Musica's people are each represented by a music genre, but we will get to that later. But first, let's explain the society of Musica. The education brought to the young ones are brought in by their parents, and they show them by listening to their inner soul to bring out the music that they endure. Throughout Musica, the behavior is expected to be very polite and very well-mannered. For each of the classes, it's also tradition for each family to write a song to celebrate whoever's birthday it is. Now, the political system, which is also known as the Golden Rule, which means treat others as you would like to be treated. If one fails to follow this rule, they could endure the following: jail time, fines, memory wipe, and even death. It just, depends on how bad it is. The people in Musica must also not mock one another or try to overpower each other's territory with their music. Now, in the economic system, the currency is the American dollar. Musica also trades with instrument tools and or parts to help one another. And finally, the science and technology of Musica is incredibly advanced. Vehicles and homes are powered by a simple metronome that is powered, just by simple clicks in a 1 through 4 beat. Although, if anyone wants to turn something on or off, they just sing on, and they also sing off. Let's talk about the classes of Musica. Here is an example of a countryman. They generally wear plaid shirts and nice khakis for pants. And not to forget, they've always got a hat on. And now, the instruments that they use to play their music is usually done on either the piano or the acoustic guitar. How the countrymen speak is in accented Southern English. Here's an example. "Hey y'all, I'm needing a quart of oil for my car." In English, what he basically said was, "Hey, I need a quart of oil for my car." And now, their family structure consists of a mother who's known as the cowgirl, the father who's known as the cowboy, and the children who are known as the buckaroos. And now, for the type of food that they eat is quite delicious. Everything is wrapped in bacon, and they have their choice of their famous barbecue sauce or any other type of thing that they want. The type of drinks that they use is mainly milk and water. And now, let's talk about the religion, which basically, they follow one of the greatest country stars of all time. His name is Mr. Conway Twitty. On his birthday, families are randomly chosen to sing one of his songs for them and perform it on his birthday. And now, for sports, they have an annual event called the Banjo Toss. And what they do is they take a regular banjo, go to a body of water, and they throw the banjo out as far as they can. And whoever gets the farthest is the winner. This is popular around the many schools of the Countryman area. And now, here's the area of the Countryman side. It is the strip of land that is connected to the United States. Quite interesting being surrounded by water, isn't it? But for now, let's go on to our next class. Here is your typical average techman. You see, their clothing is simple, but usually their head is covered in headphones. Now, the basic family structure of the technos is actually quite upsetting. You see, what happens is, when each techno is born, they're separated from their parents, and they're sent away to live on their own. But then, the home they're sent to, they end up getting a new friend who becomes a companion with them for life to help them in their situations. And now, here's how they play their music. You see, they have a different set of buttons and discs to make a whole bunch of different warp of sounds. And you see, they use the same tool for language too. It's like kind of their own special Morse code. Here's an example of it. Now that was asking, hey, how are you doing this fine day? And now, for food, you see, it's quite strange. They feed on batteries and wires to keep themselves charged. Apparently, it's very nutritional for them. And for beverages, they drink oil to keep their systems flowing. And now, for their religion. They follow Sonny Moore, who goes by the stage name Skrillex. On his birthday, they play one of his earlier famous songs, Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites, to honor him. And then for sports, it's quite incredible, actually. You see, 2 or more players are given laser light equipment, and what they do is they shine them on each other, and they each have a certain amount of hearts. And they try to use the laser lights to morph into an animal or magic or some type of thing to attack the hearts. The first player to eliminate all the other players of their hearts wins the laser battle. And now, here's the location of the Technos. It's more close to the land, and they're surrounded by other land that is owned by the other classes. Speaking of classes, let's move on to the next one.
Shadow of death, I wear my crown of thorns and pull the knife out my chest. I keep searching for something that I never seem to find, but maybe...
Now here is your average rapper. Now you see their clothing is flashy, but you know, it looks quite nice actually. They always carry a microphone too, and usually wear hats. Now you see, their language, you know, is English, but you know, they actually like rap it to each other, which is quite interesting. So someone could be saying something like, hey, yo, what up, homie G, how the day hanging, yeah. When he really just say, hey, how's your day going? Now the family structure of a rapper is, it's, you know, a little upsetting because they're on their own. They really don't have a family. Once they're born, they're just cared for until they're about age 10, and then they're just off on their own. And now you see, it's quite interesting on how they like communicate too with the microphones. But anyway, their food is they main on veggies. It's a very good diet for them because they love staying healthy, and plus it just makes it look good on them. It's quite interesting that they love eating vegetables, but you know, who to judge? But also they like to drink too, and that is Coca-Cola. They, you know, enjoy, you know, drinking that. And, yeah, it's quite interesting that they enjoyed the Coca-Cola. Well, for their religion, they follow the rapper known as Snoop Dogg. And it's quite cool, too, because on his birthday, the rappers get a chance to have a rap battle with him, and it's all improvisation to see, you know, who can do better. And for sports, it's a different type of rap battle. You see, what they do is they will say a command, but in rap, like a fighting sequence or something, and then it happens to an opponent. The first one to get knocked out is the winner. And now, here is the location of the rappers. You know, you see, they got their own land too, you know, which is nice for all of them. But now, we move on to our next class. Here is an example of a rocker. You see, they prefer to be in muscle shirts or just shirtless in particular, and they also enjoy to be in jeans or shorts. Their hair is also longer than most others, but when playing their music they either use a regular electric guitar or a 5-piece drum set. How they speak is they have a rasp in their voice, but it's still English, like so. How you doing today? There you go. And now for food, what they love to enjoy is burgers. That's got to be the #1 thing. But not only do they enjoy burgers, they also love to drink root beer. And now their family structure is, the family is actually its very own band. Usually this is how it goes, but it can always be different. The father plays the guitar, the mother sings, the children play the drums and bass. And now, for religion, who they follow is the king of rock, Elvis Presley. You see, every Thursday, they just take a moment of their time and they quickly say, "Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much," to honor him for his wonderful music. And then for sports, you see, they have different solo battles, usually guitar and drums. And what happens is a guitarist and a drummer, or two guitarists and two drummers, are up on stage and they write their own solo to perform in front of everybody. And the crowd votes which one they like the best. And now you see, whoever has the best solo, they win that game. And now, here's the location of where the rockers reside. Got their nice little own land on. And now, we move on to our last class. This is an example of a metalhead. They are usually dressed in all black and have a lot of tattoos, sometimes even covered. The hair is also long or short and can be from brown to black. The instruments that they use are heavy metal guitars and 8-piece drum sets, and usually some microphones for, screaming or singing any other way. And you see how they speak is by screaming, but it's also in English. Like, "How are you today?" Not the greatest example, but that's how they do it. Now for family, brothers and sisters, usually the children of the parents, leave their family by around the age of 13 and they form their own band with friends or just themselves. And then for food, they really, really enjoy steak. That is their main course deal type thing. They usually, eat it every day. And then for beverages, they prefer the Monster Energy drink. It's quite delicious to them. And then, who they follow for their religion is Mr. Ozzy Osbourne, the godfather of heavy metal and the Prince of Darkness. You see, the family or brothers and sisters when they're older, they give a time of themselves to give a good maniacal laugh in celebrating of his music. And then for sports, it's quite challenging, actually, unless they've really got the talent. You see, what they do is they have a scream-off. Heavy metal singers are given microphones, and they see who can scream the loudest out of both of them. And whoever the crowd picks on who they thought did the best, they win that game. And now, here's the location of the metalheads. And they've got their, their own land here too, as part of the continent Torquabatos. I'd like to thank you for viewing this program, and hopefully I will see you next time. Sorry for the long bore if anyone was bored. I'm glad you enjoy it. Thank you.